This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello, everybody. Trust me, I'm here. I'm James Gonzalez along with Crispy Bacon. I'm having technical difficulties, or else you would see my beautiful face. Not really. But this is Entertainment Hour here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. And Crispy Bacon, how are you this evening?
I am doing good. It's been a long day. Glad to be here talking entertainment. So, it's going to be a good show.
I hope we entertain some folks on this Friday night. Don't forget to check out the Backyard Brew Games, and you can see the ticker on the bottom line. And then the Oregon, there it is, May 4th. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
May 4th, not only Star Wars Day, but it is the Backyard Brew Games out in Eugene, Oregon at noon Pacific. Join us here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I think we'll all be in to cover the games, among other things, cornhole. You'll just have to see it to believe it. And also check out Oregon Cougars football. That'll be coming up.
Around draft time, I think this Saturday. So I see the draft is I want to say the 27th.
Yeah, 27th. Yeah. The draft, 25th? I want to say that Thursday.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. And don't forget, there will be a live draft show. I think we'll have a little watch party or whatnot.
Yeah,
I should get in there.
We'll cover the picks, and yeah, you can hop on for your Raiders, or if you just want to talk draft in general.
Yeah, the whole first 15 picks should be something, because this is rumor time.
Yep.
Everybody trying to figure out where they're going to be, what's going to happen. It's going to be fun. And don't forget to check out all the programs throughout the week. I know On Deck will be moved from Saturday to, I believe, Sunday.
For this week,
Sunday evening, I want to say. We have here the press row, and Callan was back fighting through some allergies and the cold, I believe. Yesterday he did press row, and it was a darn good one. Mondays, don't forget Bro Code. Tuesdays, CTC Rinkum. That's in the morning. Sports Minute Wednesdays evening. Kicking It, and that was fun yesterday. For once, we all agreed on food.
Did you see? Oh, yeah, you were there for Kicking It, weren't you?
Yeah, I think I was. We were all flabbergasted by the movie review that Isaiah Leong brought us. That was just awful. Next week we'll be Creeping It Real. That's every other Thursday, of course. Of course, you're here with Entertainment Hour. And again, On Deck will be on Sunday evening. We'll recap the weekend series going on. Lots of baseball action, including in your state and my state.
Yeah.
Morning Tailgate, we'll see what we have going on with that. Just look out for us on Coast to Coast. Follow us on all of the social media platforms, and we'll go from there. So, the first topic was just odd yesterday. So, O.J. Simpson passed away of cancer.
I think it was pancreatic.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was wondering. I swore I read something like that. Passed away yesterday at 76 years of age in his home in Las Vegas, Nevada. And you talk about a complicated life. and the way he made it for himself. Grew up in San Francisco, of course, and became a big football star out of high school. Then went to the University of Southern California and was just a tremendous running back for them. Went to the NFL, first AFL, then NFL for the Buffalo Bills, and had a legendary football career. Ended up with the San Francisco 49ers for 1 year, and then went into some acting. And to bring it all into the entertainment world, he had a long list of television shows that he was in. And that starts with Dragnet back in 1967. I can remember it because he was trying to be a police officer, I believe, in one of those shows. And then just in so many other things, other from football. I'm looking right now. Remember him in Roots in the episode.
He was?
And yeah, back in 1977. And then the Naked Gun movies. You remember him along with Nielsen. In the heat of the night, I remember this episode. He was a councilman that got, I believe, killed. He was a football hero in town. And then I know he did television work with NBC, ABC for, Monday Night Football and NFL coverage on NBC. And there were things we didn't really know about him. He cheated on his first wife and they had a couple of kids. Then he had some Hertz commercials and Pioneer chicken commercials. That's a LA thing. And then, all of a sudden he had a new wife, Nicole, Simpson Brown or Brown Simpson. And,
Go ahead. I was going to say he also had something to do with the Kardashians or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Their father was one of his best friends. It's just amazing how all that has grown to where we're going to go here. So, back and forth, spousal abuse, and, on and off relationships with Nicole. And then 1994 hit, and that was just a wild, wild day back on June 17th, 1994, in which he led the police on this really slow-paced chase around Southern California. It was maybe the biggest or the most popular chase ever. Actually, a 30-30 was made of it. If you want to look at that, you'll see it there. But he was, caught for murder or brought in for murder. Somehow he got out of it because of politics. And then he was somehow not guilty. Nicole's family got him in civil court, and he lost a lot of money and memorabilia. He tried to steal back his memorabilia in Las Vegas, went to prison this time, and he got out, and he was just hanging out with the wrong people. He went into prison, he got let out, and then he's been really low-key, I think. You see him on Twitter back then just talking about his fantasy football, really showing no remorse for what he allegedly did. The whole thing trying to say, hey, if I did it, I would have done it this way. And he's responsible for those 2 lives taken. There's no doubt about that. Chris will be back here, but we'll mention more about O.J. Simpson as he, again, passed away at the age of 76. And just a long, but just a wild life for O.J. Being the golden boy of America to being just the most, I would just say the most, not hated, but the most dreaded figure when it comes to law and order, I would say, just because that case in 95 just took a name for itself. You had the whole court case with the famous lawyer saying if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. And I forget who that damn lawyer is, but
Harvey Levitt? No, not him. I mean, he was involved, kind of.
Johnny
But,
Cochran. Johnny Cochran.
okay.
I keep forgetting, but everybody had fun with that. All the SNL skits and all that. Everybody had fun with that murder trial. Definitely, if you want to see like a thing about his whole life, and as we're talking about movies or documentaries, you got to check out the ESPN
I did.
30
Yeah.
for 30 Made in America, OJ Made in America.
What was it, like 6 parts?
Yeah. And I remember I've seen it probably 3 times, all in a row, and each time something always surprises me. And then also, I think a good show, Chris, that talks about the trial was one I want to say back in 2017 or 18 on FX. It was called OJ versus the People. And you had Cuba Gooding Jr. playing OJ, and I think he did an outstanding job with that. He himself has got into some legal trouble, so it's funny how all these things go together.
It is.
Marsha Cross was played well, and it's just amazing, that case. You just have to see it to believe it, and how much coverage was on it. It was reality television before reality television. It was wild. So, Chris, how will you remember Orenthal James Simpson?
I know a lot of people are going to hate the person, like what he is, but I'm just going to look at the football side of things, his playing career, and that, he was really good, probably one of the top running backs when he played, just around good athlete. Yeah, it was, you can say one thing or another about what he did. The legal system took care of that, though, but he's going to be missed. I know, the Pro Football Hall of Fame is going to miss having him around for like the celebrations and all that. He's going to be missed.
Yeah, I know there's some people that won't, just because of what he did to that family. Taking the life of a daughter and a brother of Nicole Brown's family. So, looking back at his football career, he had a rough start, getting his feet wet, and then he really took off. 1972, between 1972, 75, he had that 2,000-yard season with the Buffalo Bills. Their offensive line was called the Electric Company, named after the television show back then. So he was definitely a great figure when it came to football. I mean, he must have been the first running back to give credit to his offensive line. It must have started there, and then it's went off from there.
And rightfully so, because without the offensive line, whether you're the quarterback or the running back, you need them to help, complete the play, basically.
Yeah. And by himself, though, when he was running and cutting and, scoring, he was just amazing. Even in the rain and AstroTurf that they played in, the juice is loose, I think, was that famous quote about him.
Yeah.
And again, look up that June 17th, 1994, 30 for 30 on ESPN. They might show that this weekend. Who knows? Because since OJ's passing, they probably have some programming they need to show.
So, like, one of the news stations where I am, they decided, on the day of his passing, and it was on their streaming channel, to show the entire coverage, their coverage of the slow speed chase.
Yeah.
From start to finish, like it happened.
I can remember, I think, well, I don't remember it because I was barely, I was probably 3 or 4 years old. But I know my family was watching it. It went around my area on a freeway, though. But
that's got to be scary. I know you're small, little, but that still got to be scary to think about now. It's like, oh, in
Well,
my
the thing is,
area.
he never put any harm
People
in
harm.
anybody else because it was that slow chase. He had the gun to himself, and his best friend was driving the Ford Bronco, and it was just like, hey, we're gonna follow you. The cops was like, hey, we're just gonna follow you to your house. Just surrender yourself, and that's basically it. And I thought ESPN did a great job with that 30 for 30, doing all the audio as well. All the connection between the cops and OJ, that was amazing.
Yeah, ESPN does a really good job with their documentaries. I think.
Yeah, you learn so much. I mean, like I mentioned with the Last Dance, I've watched that I think probably 6 or 7 times throughout, and that has 10 parts. I believe it was 10 parts.
But did they show like 2 parts a night when it
I
came
think
out?
When it came out, remember, it's 2020, so I think it was one
like
part
every night.
each Sunday. If I can remember correctly, because I was going back and forth from San Diego, working here and there, and I was like, man, I got to get back in time, not knowing that they would show it later, but I think they would show at least one new part every time because they had no sports going.
Yeah,
and
I remember them showing marble races
later on. Yeah, so complicated life is over for O.J. Simpson. He will be definitely remembered for a lot of things, not just his football career.
He also had some good takes online too. He would do like Twitter videos.
Twitter was something for him. He was out on the golf course always talking about his fantasy football.
What's up, Twitter world?
Yeah. He became a definite figure. Even I followed him just for the.
I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, just for his opinions. He loved Pat Mahomes. He, of course, loved the Buffalo Bills.
That's good.
And all the running backs and all that. It was interesting, too, because yesterday I was watching, I think, a Boston Red Sox game, and I saw 3 Buffalo Bill O.J. Simpson jerseys at Fenway Park yesterday, a baseball game. That's how popular O.J. Simpson was, for good or bad reasons.
Did they do anything for, like, in hockey with the Buffalo Sabres?
I don't think anyone would do a moment of silence for him. I just don't see it.
Well, not just that. I mean, like, fans. I wonder if they had, like, for those true fans. Like
I would have. Yeah, I would have to look that up. The thing I mentioned, too, on a show yesterday or this morning about OJ is like, hey, will the Buffalo Bills honor him in a certain way? Will the USC Trojans honor him in a way? You know, put a patch on them, on the helmet or on the jersey? We'll have to see.
Or San Francisco, because then he played for San Francisco towards
the
end of his career.
Just for 1 year, though, and it wasn't much to celebrate about.
Okay.
He just wanted to go home, and you don't really. I don't know.
I want to retire.
Yeah, but we'll see that in like August when all the the exhibition comes up. But definitely a life to remember, O.J. Simpson. So let's move on. So Chris, I know it's this interesting topic, and I just wanted to get away from all the fashion talk that there is always on E! News. I mean, that's all there is. It's hard as hell to plan a show like this.
Yeah.
But Robert Downey Jr., you know him from all these different movies.
Right.
The superhero movie. What was he again? The Flash? No. Ant-Man? I can't recall, but
it wasn't Superman.
No. I should know this, but
I'll look it up.
Yeah. He should he was talking to E! News the other day, and he mentioned he keeps his Oscar statue in the entryway of his house. But my question to you, and anyway who joins in, where would you keep your Oscars or awards would you keep it in your house somewhere and show it, or would you flaunt it all about when you go out in public? Like if you had a bunch of awards or one you're really proud of, Chris, what would you do with it?
Oh man, first Tim said Iron Man.
That's it. I saw something red.
Randy saying, "Hey guys."
Oh, Randy, I forgot to mention. I hope he's feeling better. I heard he was in the hospital, and we hope that he's doing better. And shout out to Tim Fielder. And Tim always keeps mentioning this in the chat. Remember, Chris, about the stars. Yeah, give us some stars. Do you know how that works, Chris?
Yeah, I think in the comments you can click on where it has a star on it, and then you can pick how much you want for a star. But it helps us out keeping the network going. So any little bit helps.
We got to mention that, I think, maybe on every show. Put in the ticker maybe, and I never think about it.
But he puts my Oscar would be in my doorknob.
That would be something. Hey, pull my Oscar.
Yeah. I would put it like on a mantle, especially if it's my first one. You know, like my very first Oscar would be front on my mantle.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't know. Maybe I'll put it up, you know, to display. Do they actually keep it, I wonder, or is it like a replica?
No, it's an actual one that they make.
Because I know, like in sports, they do the replica trophies.
Super Bowl
for
trophy.
the players, but then the facility has like the real deal.
Right. No, they're all genuinely made for that, and I guess for me, I'd definitely put all of them, like you said, on a mantle. But wherever I lived, I'd be so worried about earthquakes, so I'd really keep that thing, you know, like on a mantle and away from like falling down. It's on the top of something, like on a shelf or something. I would never really bring it out in public. I would probably...
It was at some kind of gathering or something, then you might want to...
Yeah.
It depends on who's there, I guess.
I've seen before people put it on like their necklace.
I wouldn't do that. I'd be afraid I'd lose it.
Plus, it's heavy around the neck. I think Ludacris had a rap video like that where he had a certain person on his necklace. Randy mentions, I'd keep my awards in my living room in a trophy case.
Yeah.
I'm still in the hospital till tomorrow, hopefully, and God willing, you'll get out of there tomorrow. So we're always thinking about you, of course. All right, so we'll get to new movies in theaters because, believe it or not, they've had some good movies lately, and they have done well at the box office. And I know someone who works at a Regal Theaters, and they always say, hey, you got to come watch this. You got to come watch that. Well, let me in the back door, and I'll watch every movie that day without nobody knowing. How about that? I was like, no, you can't do that. No, you have to pay. I don't want to pay.
I'll be gone. I will pay as much money as I need to stay here.
Hell yeah.
I'll pay you in advance.
There you go. And never pay him again. Civil War is an hour 49-minute movie, rated R. And, man, it seems like real life what's going on right now.
That's never good.
It's a depiction of future America, literally North versus South, East versus West. Imagine just a whole civil war. And Tim Fielder mentions he wants to see that. It is following a team of military embedded journalists as they race against time to reach D.C. before rebel factions descend upon the White House. It seems like that's happening right now in a way. But, Chris, are you interested in watching this?
It sounds interesting, and without getting all into politics and stuff. Yeah, that has happened, several years ago. Very much, very much.
See what you did there.
Yeah. So it sounds interesting. Randy says he still wants to see the new Ghostbusters.
I heard some great things about that, how they put all the decades together and all the editions together.
I'm sure it'll be
And,
on streaming soon.
That too, yeah. It's amazing how movies are so available now, I guess you could say. That movie, Civil War, it stars Kristen Dunst, and I haven't seen her in years.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, she was one of the people I liked back then. Nick Offerman is the president, if you can believe that. That'd be kind of quirky. That's all the names that I remember.
I know who he is. Okay.
And then Godzilla versus Kong, the New Empire. That's always a big movie there whenever those two get together.
What is it, like the 30th Godzilla movie?
The epic battle continues. Legendary Pictures Cinematic Monsterverse follows up the explosive showdown of Godzilla versus Kong. So this is just another edition, like you mentioned, of those two going at it. Tim Fielder mentions Rebel Moon Part 2 is not Netflix. First one was good, so I'm guessing you can find that elsewhere. Tim Fielder mentions, haven't seen her since Kissing Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I cannot think of anything she's been in, honestly.
I'm not dissing Godzilla. I'm just saying they've made a lot of Godzilla movies. I'm just saying.
I think it's done better than the 1970 ones or 60 ones where have you seen those, the Japan made ones?
I haven't. I've heard about them.
You got to see that, man. It's got what do you call it? Translating, or what do you call it on
the
line?
captions or something.
So yeah, and the worst lip reading you'll see.
Yeah, sometimes I have, my TV would do that every once in a while where it just doesn't sync up right.
Right.
And then you'll have the audio not lined up right.
So Rebecca Hall and Brian Tyree Henry stars in that Godzilla vs. Kong movie. Brian Tyree Henry, you'll remember him as the rapper from the TV show Atlanta. That was a really good film there, or not film, but television series. And then Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is one that Tim, I think, mentioned, or who mentioned? Randy did. That's right. I'm gone. Frozen Empire. The Spinnaker family returns to where it all started, the iconic New York City firehouse, to team up with the original Ghostbusters. Stars, Paul Rudd, bunch of other people I don't know. Patton Oswalt is in there. Bill Murray, of course. Dan Aykroyd. Some of the original ones, I guess, will be in that. Would you be interested in that, Chris?
Which movie?
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
I saw the first one, didn't see the second one, but then I saw the one with the all-female cast. That one was okay. But I thought I always liked Ghostbusters.
And then there's a Kung Fu Panda 4. I forgot to mention this a while back. 4. I can't believe it. Jack Black, Awkwafina, Viola Davis, Dustin Hoffman all star in that, as well as James Hong. Bryan Cranston, if you can't believe that, is in that movie. A dub. Thank you, Tim Fielder. I haven't seen those in years, but it's a dubbed Japanese.
I know the anime, like the anime, I should say. They do a lot of that.
They do, yeah.
Japanese to English or something like that.
Dune Part 2 is always a big one. That's on right now. You would have to see the first one to see the second one. but it's been rated really high. Rotten Tomatoes at 93%, and the let's see, what's the other one? Rotten Tomatoes and audience score is 95%. But I would suggest go seeing the first Dune to watch the second. That, of course, stars Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya. Zendaya going from singing to acting. Also, Josh Brolin is in there, Rebecca Ferguson, and Florence Pugh. David Bautista and Christopher Walken are also in that. That should be interesting. By the way, it's the 20th anniversary of Shrek 2, so you'll see that at theaters. For the kids that haven't seen it yet, that's always a huge movie for the kids. And then The Long Game, it's a groundbreaking golf movie starring Dennis Quaid. Whenever Dennis Quaid does something, he does it really well. You know, remember him from The Rookie and other movies like that. He does a really good job in this. Yeah, that was really good. So check out that. I kind of want to see that. Oh God, there's a remake of Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, and it has not done well.
Is it a comedy?
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's based off the 1991 movie starring Christina Applegate, and the mom is away for a trip or something, and she has two brothers and a sister, and the babysitter comes over. She's really mean to everybody. She dies suddenly at the house.
Oh wow!
And they do everything to hide it from the neighbors. And Christina Applegate, as a young adult, has to go out and make money for the family because the mom is out for like a month or two trip. You got to see it; it's really, really good. And I hate when movies are remade and they make it just for anything. I just really hate that. All right.
They've been doing that more and more lately.
I hate it so much, dude.
Don't ruin a good thing.
Yeah. Fallout. As we go into what's streaming, the best television shows. Now, I've heard of this. Fallout has it's based off, I believe, the video game, I want to say.
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, I've never got into it, but you'll love it because Ella Purnell is in there and Walton Goggins is in there. Some other good folks that you've seen in there. Based off of a video game, the American TV series. It's doing an 8.7 out of 10 on IMDb and 94% off of Rotten Tomatoes. It's a story in a apocalyptic America. Let me get what I had back. But yeah, I don't know if I'll watch it, but maybe I'll borrow somebody's password. Nobody heard that. Ripley is a program on Netflix. It stars Andrew Scott. Dakota Fanning is in it as well. Dakota Fanning, you've seen her in so many things. We remember her, of course, as a young little girl in some things, and she's grown up so well. Tom Ripley is a wealthy man, a wealthy man hires Tom Ripley, who's down on his luck, to travel to Italy and urge the wealthy man's son to come back home. Instead, some murders happen, and you'll want to see the rest. It's a whole thing on that. Any of these look any good to you, Isaiah? Or I cut you.
It's okay. No, not off the bat. I guess Fallout would be interesting.
And then there was one I did want to mention. It has Giancarlo Espen. I forget his last name. He was the man in Breaking Bad. He had that chicken restaurant or whatever, but really he's moving drugs out of the back door. I saw it yesterday. Halo, by the way, is that movie, or I'm sorry, that
video game turned
based
TV.
on the video game. The latest episode was March 21st, so if you want to get into that, the last season of Curb Your Enthusiasm is on now. That's just the last episode was the 7th of April. You want to see that if you're a big fan of Larry David. Yeah, Parrish. Okay, this is the one with Giancarlo Esposito, and it's not doing well, but he was haunted by the violent murder of his son. Gray Parrish is the name of the main character, of course, and he has a charged thrill ride toward the criminal underworld with no escape. The wrong way must be maybe his way out. So if you like, action and thrills and danger, that would be something to watch. You watch it on Prime and Apple Television or Apple TV as well. That was one thing I saw. Not much else. I don't think I would see. Oh wow! So there's an animated on Netflix. There's an animated edition of Good Times, the '70s show that was really, really popular. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, of course, that has Andrew Glover in it. I'm sorry, Donald Glover. So that's also still out there. Not too much is on there, but that's all your TV shows for the month. So let's get into our segment 10 or less. We'll go to our favorite video games, 10 or less, and we'll rank them. Rank here. I'll start off with you, Chris. What's your favorite 10 video games of all time?
Let's see. I'm just going to put it in a category. Sports video games. It could be Madden, NBA, MLB. Just sporting games in general. One could be like, I know back in the day, Legend of Zelda was one. I know Super Mario Brothers were up there. What else? I can't think of. I don't play a lot of video games too much, but I know those were very popular. I know Donkey Kong was probably one. Pokemon was and still is huge now. Those were probably my top.
I was gonna ask you, what is your favorite genre of like movies or TV shows?
I would say comedies for movies and maybe dramas for TV.
Okay, we'll get to some trivia later on. I just forgot to ask you that pre-show, so I want to get into that later on. All right, so mine, I think it's pretty simple. It's almost like your route, but there's some also ones that I remember. Madden 03 was always a fun thing for me for the PS2. MLB The Show, the like 06 or 08 or whatever on PS2.
Yeah.
I'll get to those in a second. Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas, 4 and 5.
I know Call of Duty was a big one back then.
What was it called? Call of Duty Ops. I forgot what they called that, but I used to play that a lot all the time. But I have such a trigger finger. I had a horrible yips with that. That was awful for me. And I would camp and everybody would get pissed off. It was really, really bad. Need for Speed. There was a bunch of them, like Hot Pursuit. There was another one on PS2 and PS3.
I was horrible at like racing games.
Yeah.
So like Mario Kart.
I was at first, and I got better. Let's see. Oh my god, I'm like NBA 2Ks. There's some good ones, some bad ones.
It's up and down, yeah.
Yeah, they put out like the same game every year, and
Kinda
then
like
there's like Madden as well, and the show. It just all seems the same now. You're never entertained by anything different. Like
No.
there's nothing different about the games. One more, I guess, for a video game that isn't what we were talking about. I guess I would say, you know what? One game I've always wanted to play on PC was Sims.
Sims was very popular, and I think I played it once just for maybe an hour or so. I didn't really understand. I mean, I was probably back then, but I didn't really get the premise of it.
It's basically living a life that you should be living in your world, but you lived it through the PC. It's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah, that sounds very. Yeah.
And you were just like talking to people that you don't even know, but you knew them through that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's better with virtual reality.
And all the catfishing going on as well.
Yeah.
Shoot. I know, yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops. That's what it was.
Yeah.
The maps were kind of cool in the neighborhood.
Right.
So Team Builder has some of his. So Halo, Helldivers 2, Call of Duty, MLB The Show, the Dark Knight series, Mario Kart, and Zelda. I guess Tekken would be I remember a game playing with my brother back then.
He also says he loves comedy, loves Chris Farley.
God, do I miss Chris Farley.
And then he's mentioning Need for Speed 2.
Yeah, Need for Speed 2, Hot Pursuit, and then again there were some other ones. I didn't play any other racing game. The controls were better for Need for Speed always. For PS2, it was so good, so much better. I do have to have like honorable mention. It was NFL 2K5. That was really fun. And it was the last game they had.
2005 was good. There's a couple non-Madden football games that were okay. Game Day was good, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, after a while, once they signed that, once Madden signed that deal to be the only producer of games, it was like, oh well, that's all there is.
And I know now, and they didn't have it for years now, but the college football version,
it's coming back. I heard.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited for that one. I have the last issue they had.
2009.
Yeah.
Around there. Wow. I know the players can make what $600 off of their likeness, I want to say.
And it's better than nothing.
And a t-shirt, by the way, and a copy of the game. Definitely better than nothing. Yeah, you're right.
I'd give the money to somebody in the family or put it back for schooling. I'll just take the game, really.
Yeah. All right, so the next one is our favorite movie theater food. So let's say you're going to a movie theater. What are your go-tos if you go to a movie theater? And let's just say you have a lot of money to spend that isn't yours.
A lot of them, and I haven't been to it in forever. It seems like since after COVID, it seems like. And then they're getting a lot fancier.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you want a cheeseburger while you're watching your movie?
No.
Give me popcorn, a hot dog, candy. I want your traditional movie watching foods.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, unless I'm at home and we're having like cheeseburgers or something, and that's fine. But traditionally, at a theater, you want your traditional, stuff you would have at a theater.
I'm so sick. Yeah, I keep hearing about all these movie theaters now. And believe it or not, Chris, I haven't gone since January 1st of 2017.
Oh, wow.
and I saw Downsizing with Matt not was it Matt? Yeah, Matt Damon. Yeah. It was a cool movie. Like, not a lot of people liked it, but I did. Literally, this guy goes to a smaller world and just tries to live like he did when he was in the regular world. It was pretty cool. It made you think, and even after all these years, it made me still think. All right, so my go-tos, you got to have the popcorn.
Yes.
But man, I don't want anything else. Maybe some, milk duds, M&Ms. But I'm not trying to eat too big, like a hot dog. Even a pretzel. Like I could do a pretzel, but it's like they all just seem stale. Like there's barely any salt on them. The cheese is cold and $4. Yeah, I agree with you, Randy. That's exactly what I want. Popcorn, heavy on the movie theater butter, and the soda, diet soda. Why? And I guess I would do a beer if they had. I know a lot of the theaters do that now, not all of them.
Right.
But hey, I just like doing what I've done in the past. Bring a jacket, right? Make sure it has a lot of holes in it. And I like Tim's things here. Icy, those are always clutch. Gummy worms, non-sour, and of course that butter popcorn. But you get a big jacket, Chris.
Yeah.
And just try to fit as many Dollar Tree candies in each pocket.
In each pocket, yeah.
Just say, hey, I'm really cold. Tim says the last movie in the theater that he was in was The Little Mermaid, I want to say. And I cannot remember when that was, but
I think it was last year. It was the new one.
Oh, yikes. Okay. I know what he's talking about now. That's, again, remaking something and diversifying it. Ugh.
And I know we're talking entertainment, but did you hear about this today?
Oh, yeah. Shout out Jason as well. The breaking news that the Phoenix Coyotes are moving to Salt Lake City. It isn't official, but it is.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah.
Like but the Coyotes players were informed that it was going to happen.
And Callum McClurg did a tremendous job yesterday breaking that down on Press Row. Yeah, it was yesterday, and all the all the details about it. It's just time to go. They tried to get something done in all the cities, but nobody's voting on it. Nobody cares about hockey and hot ass Arizona. Randy Cox says Vice City, of course. And I love how the YouTube world is literally playing the game back.
Yeah.
And adding their own missions onto it with the help of AI. That's been amazing to see. Like the same thing in San Andreas and all the other, Grand Theft Auto games. They're amazing. Tim saying I heard they were howling. Now I think
because they're coyotes, I get it.
The nickname would have to change going to Utah. They'll probably go Buzz. They already have a minor league team, and thank you for Callan for mentioning this, that they have a minor league team called the Grizzlies already. I think that would be cool, but I think they want to go like Jazz and Buzz. I think that's what Callan was mentioning.
Okay, that would be good. It wouldn't be too confusing, I don't think. Because you already got the Utah Jazz.
And that doesn't make sense.
So I don't know if Jazz would work, but that's a different thing.
I hate that name for them. There's not a jazz club for entertainment purposes in Salt Lake City. At least I've never seen one.
I'm sure J-Mac probably found one.
Right.
He was there last year. So I'm sure.
I know Callan was mentioning, hey, it'd be a great source of entertainment. They've already had, preseason games there just to see how the fan base would do. People would like it because it's winter weather. So I guess it would work there. Tim Field also said, hey, they could keep the name like the Jazz and just name them the Coyotes. I'm pretty sure there are Coyotes in Utah. I don't think there's grizzly bears in Memphis. I don't think. Remember, that name was from Vancouver.
Right.
All right, so let's get into some comedy movie trivia. Just for you here. Let's see. Do you know the movie Back to the Future Part 2, Chris?
I feel like I do. We're going to say yes. It's been a while, but yeah. I remember seeing it.
All right, a couple of questions. What year do Marty and Doc travel forward to Back to the Future Part 2?
2006?
Kind of close, 2015. And if you recall, when they're in the town and the news is being on the ticker off of a building, it says the Chicago Cubs will win the World Series. And they were just a year off in 2016. But we almost had those two planets aligning there.
They weren't The Simpsons?
No. Even though they just got something right again. I forget what it was.
We should do the top 5 things The Simpsons got right.
There were so many I could think of.
Yeah.
Just recently they had something, I forget what it was, but they had something right again, and it's just chats. It's just, what do you call it? It's just bound to happen, I guess, in the world.
Yeah. We need to watch The Simpsons more, I guess.
Yeah. Although I heard it's not as good the last 15 years, and I could kind of see that.
Yeah.
I stopped watching ever since then, too. It's just, I don't know. What kind of car does Doc Brown turn into a time machine in Back to the Future?
Mandalorian? I don't know.
Yeah, you got it right. DeLorean.
Yay! DeLorean. I said Mandalorian, DeLorean, whatever. Something like that.
In the movie Ghostbusters, have you ever seen it?
Yes.
Okay. Who plays the investigator and the eliminator in that movie?
I don't know.
One of those actors in that movie.
I don't know.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. That's right.
And then who played the title character in the movie The 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Randy said, trivia without me, I must be out. Play along. I mean,
he was also the main guy in The Office.
Oh. I almost said Will Ferrell, but no. Oh, gosh.
I'm trying to think who else he was in.
Was he the lead guy?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Steve Carell.
Yeah, Steve Carell. Yep.
I almost said Will Ferrell. It's like, I know that's not it, but.
Then also, in Mrs. Doubtfire, what does Robin Williams' character dress up as?
A stay-at-home mom or a woman, I don't.
Yeah, a woman. You got that.
Yeah.
And I got to go back and watch that. I do feel bad for like all these entertainers that, just take their own lives because all they know is entertaining people, but
yeah,
they lose themselves mentally, it seems like.
Tim said a nanny, basically.
Yeah. All right, name one name one actor in the movie Elf.
Will Ferrell.
There you go. What teen actor skipped school in the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Can you repeat that one more time?
What teen actor skipped school in the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off? He's one of my favorite actors of all time.
I don't.
He was cool.
I don't know.
Matthew Broderick.
Uh,
That movie is just tremendous.
I know. Ben Stein was in it.
Bueller.
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 Didn't he have his own game show?
What comedian played the title role in Uncle Buck? Also one of my favorite people in movies of all time.
Jack Black.
John Candy.
John Candy.
Jack Black was the one in School of Rock. I haven't seen him in anything in a while, but also you could hear him though in that Kung Fu Panda #4, which I don't know why there is after 2. I don't know why would you continue to do one.
He said, "Hey, he was in Godzilla."
I love that edition, that 1997 or 8. No, I think it was 97. The edition where Godzilla comes to New York and just, has some babies as well. And Little Raptors or whatever comes out. I can't remember, but absolutely destroys New York City. Excuse me, that was an amazing movie. An amazing movie there. What theme park are the Griswolds trying to get to in National Lampoon's Vacation? What theme park? We'll end it on this.
I'm going to say Disney.
Wally World. Remember the dude
in Walmart when you said that?
The dude with the animal with the big antlers and all that, and John Candy's the security guard saying it's closed, and Chevy Chase takes him hostage. They end up going in, having a fun time, going to jail after that. Those movies are tremendous. All right, so we'll end the show here, but we'll get to our final thoughts. Chris, you have any?
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, tuning in. Good trivia night, good topics, and join us this Sunday, for a special on deck covering 2 weeks of baseball, 3 weeks somewhere.
Yeah.
So should be fun, and also between the ropes too.
That's what I was gonna wonder. We'll talk about that off air. I do not want to. What is it called? I don't want to interfere with that. But maybe we'll get in before that show does. Yeah. We'll schedule it all out.
Right.
Thank you to everybody who tuned in and commented in. Randy from the hospital, get well soon, get out of there soon. Tim, Jason, everybody from the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. Be sure to check out all the programming throughout the week. And watch for that special On Deck edition on Sunday evening, afternoon, after probably Sunday Night Baseball. So many good weekend series going on.
There are.
Milwaukee and Baltimore, San Diego and the Dodgers, the Texas series going on. It's going to be a fun time. Randy says, thank you guys. Hope to see you guys next week. And how?
Yeah, the Texas series, this is like the second go-around between Rangers and the Astros.
The second out of 4, and I believe the Rangers held on big tonight.
That's good.
Yeah, I can't remember the score, but I know they were up 12-3 at one point. In Houston, things are changing.
And for the better.
Yeah. All right, Chris, we'll get out of here. Thank you for everybody watching Entertainment Hour here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. We'll see you next time. Go have some popcorn.